Hey everybody, David here, and we're back to part 2 of the Auckland Museum build. Now, there's plenty of more things I can do for terraforming and landscaping and trees and whatnot, but I'm going to focus on building this building up so you can actually see what it looks like as a building. The problem being there isn't a recording that I can find of the height of each level. On the outside with Google Maps, there's only sort of two lines, like two levels of windows, and I know there's at least 3 levels of like walking around on the inside. So it may be a trial and error process, but I'm kind of excited to get started because I've definitely got tired of landscaping. So I will try and do it in an order that makes the montage camera work instead of going up and down and around and spinny. I know if I run it fast enough and it goes around and around circles, it can get a bit nauseating. So I'm sure it's nauseating enough for me to be moving like this, flying. So with the camera spinning very fast, it must get kind of irritating, or at least, not good for the stomach. So I shall attempt to build the building in just this episode, but we'll see how far I can get in a week. So wish me luck, and cue the music. And welcome back. Isn't it pretty? So pretty. I'm very proud of what I've done so far. Oops. I've been having a bit of trouble with the scale, but that's always the case. My scale's a bit odd. I was planning on doing the entire building out of this stuff, smooth quartz, because it's very smooth in person. And then I discovered at a distance, those beams, those pillars, just melded into the front of the building. So I was playing around with different textures, and calcite is not a good thing, even though I like the look of it. It's a good floor. So I actually used concrete powder, white concrete powder, which is annoying because it's subject to gravity. So, yeah. But it looks good. I like how it looks. I'll just toss those. Now, the lichen, which if you don't know is this stuff, the lichen is to pretend to be writing on the war memorial building. This part has a plaque on it about the dead. I think it's a special quote from somewhere important, but it's dinner time. My brain is not retaining any information. But I thought, in a way, within my culture as a Māori person, even though I was mostly brought up white, places that remember the dead and our ancestors are sacred. And I felt it would be disrespectful not to include the plaque, even though, like, the scale's too small to actually have the plaque written. I'm not covering the front of this building in signs. No. So the lichen is pretending to be the writing, the plaque on the front. I'm probably going to figure out how to put the little plaques and the fountain thingy in the middle of here later, because it's going to be harder to do. There are a few details I don't like. There were these sort of, I don't know what they are in the real life, because the scale, what's it called? Google Maps isn't very clear on roofs, but it looked like there were sort of, I don't know, boxes. So I used switches, which I always want to tootle with, because at least it's, decoration, and it sort of breaks up the flat wall. Same with the buttons, which may end up being a different colour, because in the real one there's a dot. It looks possibly like some kind of air conditioning or a vent or something underneath the window, but the window's too wide, so you can't put a thing in the middle, so I had to put two. But from a distance, it at least, adds an extra detail to the outsides. Now, I got through most of it. It wasn't too hard. I think it took about 6 hours to do just the outsides. You would have noticed in the montage that there was a point where I started here and then bloop, half of the sphere was already done. Blame my cat. He is not happy with having a cat door. He hasn't realised that it's cat freedom. And he was very determined to go outside and refused to go through the cat door and needed me to open the door for him. So he was insistent, and I paused, and then I forgot to unpause. I'm really bad with that, especially with the cat. Totally cat whipped, but that's okay. He's a glorious little pussycat. So the dome, the round end, looks pretty good. I'm actually quite happy with it, because it's, it actually looks round. the next part is going to be the roof, which is complicated. I had thought of just not bothering, because meh. But I'm going to try, because there's lots of different bits and shapes. Like, I've put this bit here. There's a level of windows here. So the rest of it's just one level. What I'm meaning is the roof drops one level, so there's a bunch of windows here, so you can have hallways with light. But the reason why I was mostly meh about doing the roof is because the roof part here, this is the newest part of the building, is actually it's not just that shape at the front, it's that shape around the whole or the inside, and there's actually a sphere floating from the ceiling, well, attached to the ceiling. And the top of the sphere is like this sort of, imagine you get a round piece of flat plastic and then you melt it a bit, so it's sort of wobbly at the edges. So it's not even a dome, it's a wobbly pancake thingy that's melted. I don't think I can do the pattern. It's the wrong scale to get it right, to make it look like sort of a wobbly pancake. But I can try with the rest of it, and then at the least just do a flat circular glass ceiling, because it is, this section of the building's all light. It's really a neat modern sort of thing. And as weird as it sounds, the sphere that's sort of in the ceiling looks kind of cool, because it's made out of sort of layered wood. It's beautiful. I wasn't intending on doing the insides, like the actual, any of the exhibits or anything like that. But I feel it would be disrespectful to the real building if I just left it like this on the inside. So I'm going to put in some of the floors and obviously the internal windows and stuff. And this top level, this cross shape, is actually, it's out of scale. It's the wrong scale. I've got to alter the shape and stuff, but it's the actual memorial part of the building. And on the walls that don't have doors and windows, there's the names of those lost in wars. And I just, my bones, my sense of culture demands that I at least make this remembrance hall. Maybe using the lichen to simulate the lines. The names are in lines all along the walls. There's also a big open area here down to the lobby, and a gorgeous stained glass window right above it. So I want to do at least the foyer, lobby, whatever it's called, the stairs which are either side, and maybe just hallways to the fancy side. Obviously I'm not going to do, exhibits on the ground floor for the actual museum part, but I don't want to disrespect the real building, because it's sacred in my mind and my heart. It feels like it would be disrespectful not to do some of it, but we'll see what happens, because it may be very difficult. So hopefully there's room in the second half of this episode to finish the roof. I may end up actually doing the inside first and then the roof, because it's less claustrophobic that way. So this, I don't know yet if this is the second of 3 episodes or just the last episode. But we'll see. We'll see how much I can get done in the next few days. So, wish me luck, and cue the music. And welcome back. Isn't it pretty? It's just so pretty. The whole thing. Floors, well, green, roads, the building itself is so pretty. I spent a lot of time this week. Unfortunately, because of fibro brain, a lot of that time was spent doing and redoing things like stairs. Because of the the problem of having 1 meter by 1 meter bricks as walls means that your outside, you have to usually choose between your outsides being to scale over your insides being to scale. If you want your insides to be scale, you have to have outsides that are wonky. And as a result, in this build, my entrance has a 4 meter gap that isn't actually there to get everything else to fit inside. These fence gates are actually what are those? I don't even know what they're called. You know, they go around and you walk through them and they move. And this one's automatic. You don't push it; it just slowly goes around. It's a bit scary to go through when you're on wheels, but that's okay. So this is gorgeous. I love it. If you're detail oriented like I am, you might have noticed that in the montage there was no mention of the stained glass window. Well, we had another cat thing, cat distraction. Pussycat, his name is Little Puss, is still not wanting to use the cat door the way it's supposed to be used. I have to wedge it open, or open the door for him. And he did it again. I did the window and that level not being recorded because he distracted me and I forgot to press unpause. So it's very frustrating. I'm going to try and figure out another way of fixing it, because it's not... I put a lot of work into that and I was kind of looking forward to showing it off. But I'll get up there. But showing it off on montage mode. A friend of mine suggested I actually put stickies, like yellow stickies, on my screen every time I pause. Remember to unpause and put it on the screen. So I have to buy some more yellow stickies and try that out, because I'm very annoyed about that. But I'm quite happy with everything else. It took, as I said, Fibro Brain made me redo the stairs quite a few times. I had to I kept doing the math wrong. I wasn't counting the blocks properly and corners, and it's the stairwell is the reason why the entrance had to be 4 meters longer than it's meant to be. I'm going to do the elevator with bubble columns and what I call landing pads, because I don't like when you do a down bubble vader, which is with a magma block. You land on the magma block and then it hurts you and it irritates me. I don't like it. So all I do is actually just make a hole with water at the bottom and jump. I don't mind jumping. Jumping is fun. Often when I jump I go wee plop because it's fun. This is the general this is the ceiling. This line is the ceiling. This will be the general size of these side rooms, and they are definitely smaller than the original. But I'm only going to put in floors and ceilings, so you don't look down a hallway and it's messy. Nothingness. But I'm quite happy with this. These side things, I seem to remember they are like shops or touristy information-y places. They will also have floors and ceilings, although by my measurements they're not going to be very big. They can probably only at a maximum be here. I suppose that's still 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 wide, but yeah, there's some scale problems, but I think it looks good. I had to put the lighting like this because lighting in reality, you put a light up there and it lights all the way down, because you've got searchlights. They're a lot stronger, but in Minecraft there isn't. Like if I put a light up there, it's not going to light down here. And if I eventually do start playing in Not Peaceful, I do not want this place blown up by creepers. That would suck a lot. Right, I'll just go upstairs. So each level around the lobby has been done. This way, I just put this in the way just so I didn't have to look at the wall. Each of these doorways are 2 different exhibits. I believe this one, when I first came, was the Egyptian one. I remember because I had a real mummy and I thought having a mummy was just bloody amazing. I don't know, I think the ones on this side are ancient civilizations. And that's a window through to the Māori court, which is amazing as well. It's my favourite place in the world, I think, at least so far. Yeah, there's a lot of space I haven't done that I'm not necessarily going to fill. Certainly not going to fill with exhibits or anything but walls and floors and lights. Now this is the remembrance, the memorial hall. I put the lichen on the walls to signify the names that are written, that are carved in the walls in the real one. These are like golden medallion-y round things in the tops of the walls, but the best I could do was raw gold. There's nothing circular in Minecraft. And this was a bigger thingy, and it's sort of like a round, like a globe holder. I don't know if you've ever seen a globe holder with a wreath on top. And there's I can't replicate that at the scale. That was the nearest block with circles on it that I could find. The banners are flags. There's flags of all of the different places. I think this is the World War I hall. So all of the flags that are actually in the real one are the flags of the countries where New Zealanders died or were buried, or there was a war, a battle there. I thought this was the only remembrance hall, but it turns out the whole top floor is remembrance. So I'm going to be doing the other halls. I believe that way is World War II. There's also a little Holocaust and something else here. Smaller rooms. When I came, there was a whole hall, like a hallway and a big section. I don't remember where, for the Holocaust stuff. But there's another set of remembrance halls either side. So I'll do those, probably not on camera, just because I need them to be there for me, not necessarily for entertainment. I mean, if you want me to show that, I can. It's not the end of the world. I might do my wee plop. Wee plop. Obviously I haven't finished, so there's going to be at least three episodes in this series. As I said, I'm going to mostly do the floors, walls, and lighting for the inside, just because it's kinder than leaving it, there's grass and little bits of lake and stuff down here. I also have to light up underneath, like underneath the road, otherwise if I turn on mobs, it'll just be a big mob farm. Other than floors and walls and lighting, I'm probably stairs. I'm probably only going to do the sphere that's in this bit. Sort of this is, I think it's actually the south foyer, even though it's actually north. I found that out recently, that in real life that way is north and that way is south, but in the game it's the reverse. This way is north and that way is south. But that's okay. It doesn't actually make very much difference. But I'll try and attempt the sphere, because I haven't actually done a sphere, like a proper actual sphere. Because it sounds like fun. Or at least sounds like something like a puzzle to solve. I like certain kinds of puzzles. I may also, despite what I said in episode 1, I may actually put this road down underneath into the basement like it is in real life, because I love this building. I love the domain. I love the whole thing. And it feels kind of mean to not do what I can. I mean, some things I can't do. But others I can. And that's just like an hour's work. It's just not like hard or anything. I was just tired of landscaping by the time I got to it. There are certain chunks, like there's a whole big chunk in the middle here between the round area, south lobby, and this sort of cross-secting where it connects with the oldest parts of the building, there are no maps. They're just gaps in the tourist maps. So I don't know, I won't be able to put doors and walls and stuff in that section, but I can at least do the big exhibition rooms, just to show them. I shouldn't, with my health issues, I shouldn't risk going to Auckland to the museum just to take photos for a game, however much I want to, because our restrictions have loosened since we got like 90% vaccinated, and I'm a high risk for getting sick and dying, so I'm just not gonna do it, even though it would be fun. But I'm really happy with how it's turned out so far, and you go from this sort of rough into here, and it feels like I'm walking into the actual museum, It's just certain angles that are exactly what I remember. Like, where is it? Sort of here-ish. Yeah. With the stained glass window. And the real one, kind of each of these blocks would be different symbols of the different places, different battles, I believe, that New Zealand has fought. So it's a very colourful one, but it's in a sort of cross shape, so that was the best I could do. But yeah, that sort of angle, you can see the elevator and the steps and the next levels and the edge of the memorial hall. Just feels like my museum. So I'm quite happy with myself. Pat myself on the back. I did pretty good considering the scale of this thing is awkward in Minecraft. But we shall see what happens. From here on, I will at the very least put the roof on. If I get sick and tired of it, there will be a roof, so it looks complete on the outside. I might just go to my favourite posse. I don't know why I like standing on things. Maybe I'm part crow. I don't know. Sit here. But it's pretty. Anyway, until next time, ara ni tasa.